Um, we're gonna have a short call today, most likely because I've just been getting a lot of blockers for finishing the funding proposal, but I wanted to share some exciting updates about teams and stuff that is going on. And I think Manu added some agenda topics that could be worth discussing. So let's start with intentions, distractions, and what's been on your weekly playlist. Um, I'll start. Intentions, pretty much present updates and be able to move forward with the funding proposal for teams. I have no distractions today, and what's been on my weekly playlist? Let me check my Spotify because I don't really remember. Oh, yeah. Billy Joel's The Stranger, one of the best albums of that year. I really enjoy that one, so highly recommended. Um, I'll pass it to Mario Rosso.
Thank you, Chuy. Well, my intentions is to know, a little bit more of what is going on with the whole launch thing and stuff. Um, uh, my distraction, I have headache like since 2 days ago, but don't worry, I'm okay. On my playlist, I will say a song that I discovered recently is "Got a Good Feeling" from PG and John. I'm gonna post it on launch. And I pass it to Juanca.
Sorry, I was having trouble finding the window. Thanks. Yeah, my intention is to sync with you guys. Also to communicate that the Gravity funding proposal is in the gardens. So if you have TC, you can support us. That's one of the best things, and we will be able to operate as a group right now, and that's amazing. And not only like myself, and also, yeah, that's like my biggest intention. I am super hyped about that. Um, my distraction is that I didn't work that much during the weekend, so I have a lot of like messages to respond. And my playlist this weekend, a new game from Pokemon was launched, and I've been playing it like 25 hours. It's a really cool game. It's Pokemon Legends Arceus, and I will pass it to Tam.
For some reason, that made me really happy, Wonka. I'm really happy about the Gravity proposal. I'll go have a look at it too. But the Pokemon made me 24 hours of Pokemon game made me really really happy. Intentions, just to hear what's going on with comms. See how I can be useful if I can be useful. Distractions, wow. I mean, it's going to take me the rest of this meeting. So I'll just skip that part. And the podcast, the new podcast that I started listening to is Brave New World. Brave New Work. No, it's Brave New Work. And it's been pretty cool, actually. I listened to 2 episodes yesterday. I started listening to one today. Very interesting, actually. Sort of, um, horizontal working structures outside of Web3. And it seems as if they're slowly making their way into Web3 and exploring this space too. So it's super interesting. And I'll pass to Acid Laser.
Good time. Intentions just to see what's up with it with all teams. Distractions I have in my break pass right now. And in my playlist I have been listening to a Spain rapper called Bon Calzo. I'm gonna post it. And I'll pass it to Manu.
Thanks, as laser. Yeah. So intentions. I want to, um, move forward with HubSpot. There's a couple things that need to be done. I want to address those, and I want to see what everyone else is doing on their teams. Um, no distractions, I think, and playlist on my week. Uh, Deftones, a lot of Deftones, and Megadeth. Um, yeah, I think that's it. I will pass it to Durgadas.
Yeah, so intentions is just to give my usual unsolicited advice and to my distractions, my daily sort of job. I've also had a pretty heavy emotional week, so that's a little bit odd. My playlist, I have been distracting myself from my emotional heaviness by watching many, like 100 episodes of AK Bingo, which is this weird Japanese game show starring Japanese idols, which I found the entire 500 episode library of last week. So I've been binging that. So that's it for me. I'm not sure who's going next. I guess Septimus. I haven't heard from him, but maybe he went already.
Thank you, Durgadas. No, I didn't win. Yeah, my intention is like pretty much like every week, like just seeing with what's going on comms, see if I can help somewhere.
Is it just me? It's not your note, Septimus.
Oh, is my mic working?
Oh, I guess it's never mind.
Yeah, I can hear you. It's
great.
Discord.
Yeah,
stuff.
it was me.
And distractions. Yeah, I have a lot of DMs asking me depth questions, and then I need to ask Sam to answer, so it's a bit distracting. And yeah, for the playlist, I would like you guys to check out the Low Budget Stories. It's a crypto meme YouTube channel that they just do memes about crypto stuff. It's very fun. And yeah, I'll pass it to getting hard. Maybe Alan TV.
Thank you, Septi. I have no distraction this day. Intentions for this week. We want to make more progress with the animation team. A recommendation from our playlist. It could be G. Cole, and a song made by him is epic. And I pass it to John Jonas.
Let's pass it to Ekene while John Jonas figures out the. I think you're having some mic issues, but yeah, go ahead, Ekene.
Hi guys. My intention is to get more integrated into TC Working Comms group. In fact, I have it pending all my calendars now, so I intend to be coming more often, understand what's going on with TC, see how I can help. My distractions, I do not have any. And for my playlist, so Tam introduced me to this Delphi podcasts, and I can just get enough of them every day. I tend to listen to two, one in the morning and one in the evening. So yeah, thanks Tam for the recommendation, and everyone should go listen to it. I'll pass back to you, Chuy.
Thanks, Ekene. And John Jonas, are you ready?
Yeah. I was having some
go ahead.
trouble with my internet. So thank you. My intentions this week is just sync with the group and see what's going on today. My distractions. I have to finish a video that I'm stressed out because I had to watch 13 hours of video just to resume in a 2-minute video. So it's pretty hard. And my recommendations, well, I've been listening to Eminem, so it's an always. And
We didn't hear who you passed it to.
I think John was the last one.
Oh,
But correct me if I'm wrong.
yeah, I think so.
Okay. Okay, cool. So as I was mentioning, this might be a shorter call than usual. It's mostly because I have been having like some blockers for finishing the funding proposal, and I really want to post that because a lot of working groups are getting ahead with that. And I remember, I don't know how many months ago, Comms was like the first working group to jump in the funding proposal, and I would just like feel horrible if we're one of the last ones. So I really want to push that forward and get done with that so that we can get the ball rolling on some of the teams. So I'm gonna present some of the updates that we've been working on, and I would love to listen to any of your feedback or just insights that you might have on or suggestions for the different activities happening. And also, I was forgetting. I'd like to make like a special announcement that in the funding proposal we are going to be including kind of like fees for a writers guild. So we've been having like contributors that, like Gideon, for example, that put together amazing articles that really help our blog and following base grow. So we are setting like bounties for pieces that the community finds interesting and that provide value to the TEC. We're gonna be having like, let's say, like open bounties for that. So in case there is like a piece that we find fit for our blog, we are gonna be recognizing these contributions as well. So it's not gonna be like a let's say like a functional working group, but it's like a part. It's a part of comms that we are gonna be handling like in a, let's say, like a parallel way, while we can integrate it further with the HubSpot team. And as some of you have heard, the HubSpot team will most likely be evolving into like a marketing team with more proper tools for making modifications to the website and being able to coordinate like weekly updates, sending out our newsletter with the right amount of information that we want for people that are not as engaged in our group. So yeah, this eventually will be integrated in a whole team. But I wanted to share this with you in case you have some writing skills and are looking to contribute to the TEC. So Tam, did you like to add something?
Yeah, I wanted to jump in too. So yeah, I think it's a great idea. I think that, as I mentioned also, there's like an editorial group that's coming together. Maybe it makes sense that there's like an editorial guild and a writers guild because they serve two different functions, although they're very closely linked, of course. And I think it'd be really productive if the two guilds sort of work together to help create bounties of topics that, like, the editorial guild will start working on, or squad, or I don't know, group. I don't know what we end up, the terminology we end up using. But I think that having some direction over the kind of articles to solicit, and then some, I don't know, we could figure out what the process would be to sort of, green light something for publication on the TEC, like whether it's we vote on tokens, or it's within the comms working group that those decisions are made, or within the editorial group that the decisions are made, some sort of like what the process is for publication, as you've mentioned, to keep things of a high standard. So yeah, I think that the people that are mainly interested in that right now is Gideon's very interested in it. Nate and myself. So we've had some initial conversations informally, but I think that we will start having more weekly meetings that are like to get that group off the ground as well.
I'm sorry, Tim. Like I think I've been out of the loop with the editorial group. Is this an initiative by Communitas?
No. So it's not really, it's like preliminary conversations have happened. So that's why you're out of the loop, because
Okay.
they like, it's just starting. But the idea is around, it came from, it was Gideon's thinking, actually. He
Yes.
published that latest article and he was like, but does the TEA even want this? Like we should, like, what about a process where the yeah, of course, we're like, yes, we do, we love it. But his question was the right question. It's like the TEC should be sort of having some focus on, like, hey, what do we want to talk about? What do we want to write about? What message do we want to get out? And then creating some ideas that people could be like, oh, I want to write this. I want to write this. We've sort of have it like, hey, you want to write something? Go ahead. And it's a little too broad, right? And even he's not sure if the article is suitable for the TEC. So the idea is like having an editorial group who can really strategize on topics and maybe even topics and ideas and themes that we want to have things written about. And I imagine the writers group would be more like this content, you're doing workshops and here's mine. And you do these like writing workshops where you criticize and help each other with their work, constructive criticism, of course. And the editorial guilds would be something like, what are the themes and topics that we want? And then they'll work closely together, of course. There it is.
Yeah, this actually goes back to the conversation we had, I think, yesterday in comms, where we were talking about, I was basically saying that we should be, well, I've got a thing I can show you on it if you'd like. So in terms of like, well, this isn't the latest one. The latest one's on the. So during the comms meeting the other day, we had pretty high level conversation where we're trying to come up with a structure for all of this stuff. And so the idea being that we need to be aware that the people who we're talking to are going through these 5 different processes, really. But and because both sides of this picture are going to have participation as their sort of central point, we really only have 2 stories. We're either onboarding you or moving you through this process of advocating for us, and so there are really only 2 narratives here, right? Even though we need to be aware that there are 5 different ways in which we do this, and in terms of tools and whatnot. But so we've got this, and then we're also sort of creating security standards, and so the idea was to actually sort of inventory what the different groups are doing. So in terms of the communications group itself, the principles that we're going to follow are basically along these lines. I was using gravity as another example where we have our 4 principles from the graphic that we created, but what narratives come out of that, for example, and then just to do an inventory for different working groups and so on. And then also, it's true that we had a conversation about exactly the thing that you're talking about in terms of we actually did create this, Acid Laser created this very beautiful graphic that is about the newcomer's journey, but really it's about the entire process, right? So you're either, the center of the whole thing is participation, obviously, but either we're onboarding you or we're trying to retain you, or figure out how to optimize your participation in some kind of way. So so I think just being able to say, and even when it came to making let's say we're going to do a monthly newsletter, right? It goes out through HubSpot. The idea being that we're going to try to have on Wednesday publish a weekly thing, which is focused on awareness, consideration, participation, or retention. Advocacy should be assumed in some sense, because we're either going to give you tools for sharing, we're going to give you Twitter links, we're going to give you YouTube links, we're going to give you all these things. So the sort of framing of all of this is that we want you to advocate for us, because obviously you're listening to our participating in our newsletter. But the first 4 would basically be rotating. So we just have, let's say the first week would be on awareness, the second week on consideration, the third week on participation, the fourth week on retention, and then we just cycle through those, and then we have 4 weeks of to put into blocks in terms of sending out a HubSpot thing, and so that was the basic framework we were kind of looking at. We're going to try to, I think, present that. Maybe not this week, but next week, because we're still formulating some of this. But this is the rough outline of it, So we still need to do things like, inventorying the horizontal structures for all of the individual groups. But what's cool about this is it gives us a process by which we can repeatably figure out what the message is for each client. So if that client is a working group, if that client is another DAO, if that client is another whatever, it gives us some repeatable, high-level way of putting things into making them actionable and so on. So that was kind of a structure that we've developed over the last couple of weeks. So since you asked the relevant question, I thought I would show you that we had actually done a considerable amount of thinking on this particular thing. So, so yeah, in terms of, I don't know that editorial is the right word, but certainly I think everybody who's producing content in some sense should be aware that this is the structure that we're kind of working within. And so doing some sort of comms training, I think maybe might be good for people who want to be stewards and say, here's how we're going to execute on this. And people like yourself, Tam, who are sort of proxying a lot of that information for us and have an overview across things, might want to be able to spot check, that type of thing too. So.
Yeah, that's super helpful. Thanks, Turgados. When I look at that, I think of which is really super needed, like the narrative of the TEC, like that. I feel like that really captures that very well.
That's precisely the point of it, is to make it actionable. Make the actionable the narrative identifiable and actionable through some methodology, and make it practical and bound by time and other things.
Yeah, so. Yeah, I really like that. Other kinds of content pieces might also be specific, I don't know, token engineering or token economics pieces, or I think it'll come out of that as well, like out of this sort of like editorial meetings, to be like, but right. Knowing that like that piece, that's the most important piece, the narrative of TEC is as well thought out already, is like super reassuring, actually.
Yeah, because there's a lot of different types of, I mean, we'd even gone so far as to talk about how it would be good to create a template for stewards, so that, for example, when we're doing things like, first of all, praising during the community meetings, and second of all, sort of giving a summary of what we've done up to now. Do you know what I mean? One of the cool things about doing that is then, if we had that was as capturable, we could use those kinds of blurbs, for headlines, for blog posts, for ideas to sort of place in the thing. And what's cool about this is that I think we're talking about maybe making a blog on the website, so that what can happen is that those keywords and things can aggregate over time. That's it's almost like aging your content. That really, really works well in terms of fleshing out your entire thing. So as we write more and more posts, if we're placing them all over the place on Twitter and Medium and other things, it kind of dilutes the message, right? We want to get all of that stuff sort of centrally located. Maybe we can do like a retrospective or something, where we bring Medium posts into blog posts, or something like that. But anyway, the point of all of that was just to say, so if we can aggregate content over weeks, right? So if we know every month that we're going to have something for newbies in the TE Academy, then the TE Academy can, maybe find opportunities for that and give it a narrative framework in which to work. And I thought that the community meeting, because we're often focused on sort of beginners and giving a summary, might be a nice way to aggregate that stuff.
Durgaras, you mentioned that this graphic wasn't finished yet. Is it still the case?
Well, I just think that it's doesn't have the right name. Like I think it needs to be the sort of the, I don't know, participant life cycle or something rather than the newcomer's journey, because the newcomer's journey is really up to the point of participation. Do you know what I mean? And then the secondary part is something else. It would also be just nice, I think, in some way to orient our tools on that in some kind of way, like if there's any way to structure D work where we can be like, okay, we've got bounties for, if we're making a bounty, we should do it according to, we should do a value alignment thing about trying to align our message in terms of that, right? So if I can just say like, let me bring this up again. So for example, if I've got something in D work and I'm saying I'd like people to be aware of something, right? I want to be able to suggest that things be written, but at the same time, what I'm saying is that it could be that this awareness stuff is just the basic responsibility of all stewards. So we could just suck all this basic awareness stuff out of the community meetings, right? And then from here we can maybe start to make bounties on what it is like, for example, at the consideration level, to move somebody from consideration into participation. We should be able to have metrics for that, right? So that in if I was doing e-commerce, that would be conversions, right? So the moment I get somebody from considering purchasing to purchasing, right, or from considering participating to participating, so there must be some kind of way we can get metrics in terms of how that works, and then figure out a way to sort of turn that into some kind of bounty or something. Am I answering your question? I feel like maybe I got distracted somehow. Can you repeat the question again for me?
Oh, it was just I was just wondering if you would consider it like finished.
Oh no, not at all.
Because
I would just say that the name of this is, and I'd like some feedback on, like for example, we've got just this one thing in here for retention. Do you know what I mean? So we've just got the one thing for advocacy. I feel like we took this to a certain level, and we have some documents that go behind this as well that are quite a bit deeper than what you're seeing here. So it could be that we could, invest some time in that. So I would like to maybe just during this week, as a part of the proposed meetings that I suggested yesterday, that we take a deeper look at the narrative underpinnings of what this graphic was. Anyway, the point I was trying to make was potentially we could do something on the website where we would have awareness clickable. Do you know what I mean? Or consideration clickable, or participation clickable, and then we could have some underlying D work bits underneath all of that. Or, for example, if I was a steward, I want to make people aware of a thing. Here's a tool for awareness, that then I could pass on to COM. So I'm just trying to think of ways to make it so that things that we're already doing can fold into our content creation flow. So I know we're producing spreadsheets every week, but to give the community an idea about what's going on. So perhaps there can be a spread or a PowerPoint plus, whatever feed that we need to let people know what's happening on the awareness end. So
it seems to me that this is this graphic specifically fits in really nicely with the Communitas onboarding experience. I think that's maybe where it originally began, and maybe we can bring it to the Communitas group to finish in those pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also feel that I mean it may not like seem like it, but we always have that question, right? And we always direct people to like orientation call. But I feel this could be great just as the visual explainers work in when you get into Gitbook. I feel that this could be like its own section. Like how can I contribute to the TEC? and probably like start working on a piece where we go more in depth into each of these stages. I also feel that I could contribute a lot because I've always when I have onboarded people in the past, I always explain like these different phases that they go through, but more like active. So observation is the first one. Second one is reward system, and third one is bounty claiming, and fourth one is project management. So I feel that this could also bring some insight into like the overall process for newcomers. Oh, I accidentally stopped sharing my screen. Let me get it back up.
The other thing that I would say is it seems to me that each section of this has its own unique needs, in terms of what's going on. So from a high level, the community needs to care about this, but from like an individual working group level, like you could have somebody like Gideon who shows up who just immediately, gets the process and like understands, and contributes significantly right off the bat. So the moment he's got some awareness, his consideration level is pretty quick, and then now he's suddenly participating, right? And then retention and advocacy are really his primary thing because he just got it so quickly, right? And a lot of times, there are also associated feeling states, and the 8 forms of wealth come into this thing. So if I'm aware of what's going on and I'm come here because number go up, that maybe I need to be made aware that this isn't the thing for you. Do you know what I'm saying? But so there's just a bunch of different things, and I'd like to actually do a bit of a I want to figure out who all these people are across the top. Do you know what I mean? I want to know, first of all, everyone, and then all of the other people that we're dealing with, right? In terms of, and then who we don't want also, right? So, and then what is it that we're trying to communicate to them kind of goes down the side here. And what is it we're trying to do? Are we trying to sell them something? Are we trying to educate them? Or trying to influence them? Or are we trying to create community? There's a bunch of things that kind of go into making sure that we work out, what's going on. So I feel like we've got a bit of work ahead of us in terms of that, so that we can best serve our participants.
Great. If T.E.A.M, if we can, or if you feel ready with this initiative for having a weekly call, I definitely be down to even add it like as another like team call. And just to put it on the table, like I'm considering like for 5 to 6 months, like a total of like 10 articles. I'm requesting 300 XDAI bounty per article, so a total of $3,000. Maybe we could also like discuss it around like what could be fair and what like specifically what would be like the indicators for recognizing these bounties. So yeah, let's keep talking about this Writers Guild editorial group.
Yeah, no, it's super cool that it's in this. I am not really leading it, so Gideon has a lot of motivation here, and Gideon and Nate, since they've been, I think, maybe maintaining Medium for the last while and have been thinking about it. So it's more around when they're ready to do a weekly. I'm just have had initial conversations about it, so it's sort of on my radar right now. But yeah, I think it'd be really interesting to have their input on how to allocate those bounties as well.
Great. Okay, I just pinged Gideon to see if he would like to jump on a call to discuss this. Okay. About some of the.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Go ahead, Regalas.
I just I wonder if I would like to maybe have like narrative construction and narrative deconstruction uh, like workshop, because I do this with my own clients, like where I'm like, tell me a website for your competitor, let's say, and then I go in and I look at the competitor's website and I deconstruct the narrative of their competitor just using their website and their logos and other things. And I have a very good facility for putting that sort of thing together. So it might by deconstructing it, you kind of, oh, okay, that's how you actually construct that narrative, you know, and you can kind of see what they do well and what they don't do well. So just getting some facility with the construction of a narrative and making it from what our needs are and what we're trying to communicate and the people we're trying to communicate to. How do you construct the narrative from that? And I can do that really well. So I'd just like to offer that we have some kind of regular thing that's either associated with whatever this editorial group is or this high level comms group is. I'm happy to talk about that stuff.
It definitely sounds like it would benefit from like a separate discussion around just around that, because there's all the different pieces of content, and then what you're describing is one kind of it as well. That's an important piece too.
Yeah, how to make it consistent.
Okay, perfect. Let's move on to the some of the teams updates. The T.E.A.M Academy team is working right now in with Patty and with Angela for structuring some of the marketing that there's going to be around the course. In case somebody here like doesn't know, the T.E.A.M Academy is putting together this token engineering fundamentals course that will be a bachelor's degree. So I think that's very, very exciting for people that are interested in the field. Like I've been thinking about like taking the course myself. So we're putting together some different like collaborations around this, including like some kind of like animated trailer or something with the help of the animation team. So this is something that we've been working on. And at the same time, yesterday we just had this amazing call where we went to the Kineframe framework and we kind of like took two steps back and just re-asked like ourselves, like, where are we like in this kind of like newcomer's journey, but more about how do we perceive or how do we what is the data that we are actually like putting into the framework, and what how do we sense ourselves like regarding this knowledge journey, like where do we feel like more related and handling simple information, and where are we still struggling with some of the complex information, and how we can take this for designing the right message for this campaign. Around the Twitter planning, some of the stuff that we're covering for this week is Gideon's article, How to Get TEC, and the Gravity funding proposal. This is kind of like more related to HubSpot, but Casale already submitted a pull request for the Convert app. Let me check if it's already here. Okay, it's not here yet, but we're adding a How to Get TEC button in the lower left corner. It's kind of like gonna be like balanced with the enable account, but in the opposite side. I wish I had something that I could show you, but okay. Casale is working on that pull request, so we should be able to see this in the next
I'd just like to
in the next hours, I guess.
That we put our either put a link to our HubSpot sign up for the TEC newsletter on that, because I can't imagine that there's any TE Commons website that's going to be more popular than the Convert. link. So in terms of like potentially getting people to sign up for our newsletter, that place seems like the maximum impact. So as long as we get the code, the tracking code on there, and then we can work together to create those forms this week, that seems doable too. So I wonder if we can piggyback the pull requests to get that done as well.
Noted.
Since you brought up the convert page, can I just bring up something too that I learned today that maybe you probably know this, Chuy, but maybe other people don't. And that's to be able to tell how many tokens you have that are locked versus unlocked. So as the vesting period starts and tokens start unlocking, it's actually on that convert page Griff shared with me today that you can see how many tokens you have that are still vested. And that's something that's probably we're going to have asked of us a lot.
I did not know that either.
And it might be interesting in terms of like if we're sharing information about TEC tokens that we think goes specifically to hatchers, could be interesting for hatchers to get that piece of information before they ask.
I'm sorry, Tim. Like I don't think I can. Are you speaking, or were you speaking?
Yeah, can you hear me okay now?
No. Let me get out and in of the call. I think I can't. And I see that Manu is speaking too, but yeah.
It's funny.
1, 2, 3, testing.
Hello.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's okay. I hear you now, Manu, and Discord. Yay. Oh wait, I see that you're speaking, Tim, but you're muted.
Oh shit, that was my fault. There, I was muted. I'm not hearing Manu. Maybe I'm just going to share my screen quickly. Can you hear me okay, Chuy?
Yes.
To say on this screen is where you see how many tokens, on convert is where you see how many tokens are locked and how many aren't locked. I don't know if other people already knew that, but it's something that I didn't know that was interest that I think other people want to know too. So it's on the convert screen where you can see how many of your tokens have thawed. I think you already knew that, Chuy, since you're so deep in Commons Form, but I thought other people might not.
Okay, so maybe like putting together like an announcement for hatchers or include it in the newsletter, since most of the subscribers are hatchers. Just like an explanation of that like interface.
Interesting. Yeah. So how do you know when your tokens have started thawing and how you can see that? Yeah, that's a great idea.
Wouldn't that just make sense to put on Gideon's thing? Like, if we're talking about how to get TEC, then we just be like, oh, here are the balances, and by the way, those balances are broken out.
Oh yeah, you mean the explainer, like the okay.
Just have it be a part of the explainer rather than maybe a separate thing.
I understood that he meant to include it in the newsletter when we talk about TEC. But yeah, that's also a good place for it.
Okay, so I noted this. Probably like I mean I don't know if it should be like maybe like an info, like one of those things where you like drag the mouse and it like something pops up, just like as an explainer, like the ones that we used in the dashboard. That could also be a good idea, like a good addition to the front end, without having to rely on like an explainer that is just like separate from the Convert app.
It's also true that we have a bit of a visibility issue there, because the balance itself is huge, right? The giant zero there, but just having the really light TEC thing with a white text, I don't know if it makes sense to to just have all that be white, you know. Maybe it could be that we could change some of the colors through there to make it a little easier to understand. So I don't know, just one observation. It's just a little difficult to read.
Okay, I'll make sure Casale attends the next HubSpot call so that we can make note of these front-end adjustments and ideas. Okay, moving on with animation and video production. There is like some work going on for like initial ideas that Acid Laser put together. And this is mostly just like starting to lay down like storyboards and just like some like narrative lines that we can follow for what we want to communicate for the quantifiers tutorial. So yeah, I wanted to share this with you because I just found it like really exciting because of the ideas that we were working on around like these little robot characters that are like very human in the sense that they like have some failures and they don't always work right, but if they coordinate, they can always get the job done. So we thought it was like a really nice approach to doing the quantifiers role, and at the same time, like I mean, a lot of people in a lot of products in different communities use robots, but I feel that they use them in a very like perfect way or perspective, right? Like robots aren't supposed to fail, and on the other hand, like the approach that I feel that the TEC could have is like little robots that people can empathize with because they aren't like really perfect, but when they join forces, that's when they are able to pull through. So this is what we're working on around the narrative for the reward system tutorial. And we want this to be like a separate, like more visual message. So yeah, we are working really hard on that, and we expect to do a lot of progress in the next weeks. About translations, translations is pretty much like standing by for the funding proposal. Although we already have 2 successful translations to Spanish that we experimented with, since Gustavo really pushed that one forward. So make sure you praise Gustavo for his contributions to translations. And we were also considering Mirror for. I know that it came up during the last Stewards call, but we were wondering if maybe Mirror is a good option for international articles, and maybe from Medium we can link to like in the beginning we can edit something and say this article is available in other languages as well. So if we use that tagline, we can link to the Medium. I mean, to the Mirror. I mean, and also Mirror might be much easier and simple to deal with regarding credentials because it's more like Web3 integrated. So I feel that that excuse kind of like got together pretty good to start using Mirror. And yeah, we'll see how that one goes. HubSpot and marketing. The next steps that we are taking is handling forms via HubSpot. So we're going to make some front-end changes so that we can have additional data for people that sign up to the newsletter. We are also working on a welcome email, call to action kind of thing, so that when people subscribe, they can get an email. It's like, hey, welcome. We promise not to spam you. We promise only to send you important notices and news about token engineering commons and everything that is going on. And so we are going to be enabling that, and as well as a welcome page for the T Commons.
Can I just?
Yeah, go ahead, Reganas.
We should also one of the requirements of GPDR is that we have privacy policy and things. I will say that with my clients, I generally recommend a service called IUBenda. It's IUBENDA, and they basically have like they give you a wizard to go through and figure out what your privacy policy is, and then you kind of output this privacy policy, which you can then use. So I feel like we need like a certain amount of policy things on our webpage to sort of indicate to people what our policies are. So I was just thinking about that when you were talking about it, and it popped up in my head, and I had kept intending to say something, but I kept forgetting. So thanks.
I think there's a legal call also this Friday. Maybe we could bring it up there. I feel that they might also have some.
Yeah, just in case I missed the legal
some
call. I think
advances
the
in
legal
that.
call is always at like 5 a.m. or something my time. So like I've
Yeah.
never just dropped into a legal call for that reason, So anyway, I just wanted somebody to know like that there is a service and there's a website called Ayubenda that outputs all this stuff for you. And there's also boilerplate and other things you could find. But anyway, it seems like a kind of thing that we need. And in some cases,
How do you
HubSpot will
spell
ask
that
you.
again? Sorry, just
I'll send it to you in
okay.
Bob's channel.
Okay, perfect. And okay, so just for the last 5 minutes of the call, I wanted to ask you, maybe Akene could be the right one. I wanted to ask more information about the Common Stack AMA that is happening with the TEC, just to see and check in where we can join forces promoting this. I had already like an AMA idea in mind, but I heard that the Common Stack already made some progress here. So, Akene, would you like to give us some information about this?
Oh, sure, Chuy. So far we've reached out to people who wanted on the panel. Tam will be there, YGG will be on the panel, then Livia, Gideon also, and Angela. So what we're looking at is conversations around TEC Commons upgrade. Tam and I are having a sync later this evening to look at the angle we want the conversations to go. And normally we'll have the 1 week announcement, and then we'll have 24-hour announcement and the 1 hour announcement. That's before the AMA. So the 1 week announcement will be going out today. And thanks again, for bringing it up. We need all hands we can to put it out. Hope that answers all you need.
Yes, and of course. Please count us in. This is going to be a recurring topic for the T Academy syncs for sure.
All right, and the time is still the regular time. We use 5 p.m. CET, and on Discord.
Okay, that's perfect. 5 p.m. CET on
Friday, 11th.
Oh, sorry. Okay, and is it gonna be the Common Stack Discord or T Academy's Discord?
We'll be using the Common Stack Discord.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much for that information, Akene.
So I just want to say there's two AMAs, right? There's the one that TE Academy is doing on February 4th. It's the TE Fundamentals one. And then on February 11th, Common Stack is doing an AMA for the Commons upgrade.
Okay.
The one that is being done on February.
Sorry. My bad. Yeah, my bad. These are not really like related. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I kind of like mix those up.
Yeah, I have too. So yeah. I think the one this Friday is going to be.
We have a tweet
at
the Airtable Chuy about the Friday's event.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this Friday one is super interesting because anyone can, we've supported this proposal, and now everyone in the community can ask questions about what TE fundamentals. When just want to say, when Angela proposed the dating, she didn't expect the proposal to pass so fast. She meant for the AMA to be so people can ask questions in order to support the proposal, but the proposal passed so fast that the AMA is happening after it passed.
Okay, yeah. So sorry for mixing those up, but okay, yeah, we're gonna be covering this this Friday's event as well, and this is so more a Commons upgrade focus.
This Friday is fundamentals, and then the 11th
this Friday is fundamentals, and next Friday is Commons upgrade. Gotcha. Manu, would you like to talk about well, maybe Whitebit? I would block it. I was reached. They reached out as well. They just like, I don't feel that the proposal aligns with values MVV for the TEC. I mean, I don't know if anyone has like some arguments in favor of like centralized exchange listings. But yeah, like for what they send me, like I thank them, you know, like politely, but it's like we're not really interested for the moment. We want to see how everything goes for the first months. So maybe that could be a good suggestion in case they are just like insisting. But
just for curiosity, what was the fee?
Well, you know, we haven't even gotten to that part yet. They don't say right up front. They have a centralized exchange. They also have a DEX too. And I'm not like whatever we choose as a community, you know, they were out there. I DM'd them. Sorry, Tam. One of the few times when actually DMing someone might actually lead to a partnership. But anyway, I digress. They do have a decentralized exchange as well as centralized exchange, and they have called fiat gateways. But we can discuss this, you know, later on a sync, Chuy, and keep, you know, finding out about them. You know, again, sending DM at all. Yeah. So yeah, really, it's not that high of a priority. I think we're almost at the top of the hour, but I do want to at least touch on the Bankless DAO partnership because this user, Manuel Macao, has been very active in some of the calls, and he's actually like the lead of a team within Bankless. And for those that don't know, Bankless, like their mission is to actually drive 1 billion users into adopting crypto and Web3. So there is some overlap with what we're trying to do. They're trying to bring people in crypto. We're trying to take people that are in crypto and teach them token engineering as well as build tools for them. What I want to say is for this particular idea or for the partnership that we're discussing, they want to do it with regards to creating content for onboarding. They want to take our onboarding idea, which they love, or like they want to take our onboarding process, which they love, and see how they can adapt it into a mobile experience. If that's something that we want to do. They also have this app that they call Content Gateway, which is sort of like the idea that Nick mentioned in the sense that it is an aggregator. So it's just like an app that it aggregates, you know, your feed from Discord forum posts, from maybe Discord, from Telegram or YouTube or Twitter or things like that, and we get to choose what we see. And so they have several different projects that I do feel like we could be working together. And so I wanted to bring it up in here because half of it, if not more, deals with creating content around what I discussed. So
I'm sorry, I'm gonna hop to SoftGov. Thanks, Chuy, and thanks everyone.
Yeah, it's thanks everyone.